So welcome guys. Today we'll be exploring one of the most common problem which we have seen, which I have particularly seen in my own organization and with students and developers in not using Docker for their day-to-day purposes. They restrain themselves from using Docker and they prefer installing libraries, dependencies, applications, containers on their own system rather than using Docker for all these purposes. Docker was mainly made up for that. So why not are we using that? Why is everyone hesitating? It's just because they can't probably understand how it works or how it can ease up their life while development. So today we'll be exploring why we should use Docker and one of the most common databases and relational databases, Postgres. We'll go more deep into Postgres in upcoming videos, but for right now, we'll stick with our main target, why to use Docker for your daily development, how to learn things using Docker, and how to learn Postgres using Docker. So let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to show you is why we are using Docker. How has Docker changed the market? So as you can see here on your screen, companies that are using Docker as listed in this data is nearly 50,000. And I bet it is more after an incredible technology revolution in last 2 3 years. Startups and many small organizations who are in tech industry are using Docker to avoid in-premise costs of setting up servers and everything for every single application. And to warm up this more, why is Postgre being used so much? What it has. So Postgre is one of the most common relational databases. It's free of cost, and currently it has a huge market share of 15% nearly. And that's not a very small percentage as compared to other relational databases which are there like MySQL or Oracle. So yeah, that's a huge amount of share for anyone. And even students, even developers who are just trying stuff with relational databases, tables, can just go install it and start using. There's no fees, there's nothing you have to pay for subscription. No, it's just free. It's available as Docker images. You can run them, you can install them, and you can just get going in a second. So yeah, that's why I have come up with this because I have seen people still installing main applications in their system and disturbing their system. Your system is there to run many applications all together. And to handle all those applications together, it's better to use Docker. This would avoid any kind of hassles you have on your system later on because a slight mishappening can crash your system. And most of the developers have already felt that. So for students who are starting, you must be very like you could say that you should know that how to use things and how to learn in a proper way. So today we'll start with how to install Postgre using Docker and how it can be done with a single file and just two commands, not more than that. What you need is a terminal, and we are building this today on a MacBook Air M1. You can do the same commands you can use in Linux shell. For Windows, slight hiccup would be there with these commands, but you can just replace them with as Windows commands too. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, let's go to the file. So I have a Docker Compose YAML prepared. So what it does for me is it will take the services I want. Like I want a database which should be Postgre. I'm taking the latest version of it and I want it on to be assigned to a port 5432 of my local machine and of the container of Postgre. There are some environment variables that we have to set before we run the container of Postgre. These are those commands or the environment variables, I would say. And yeah, that's all. A simple file, and we will be up running PostgreSQL, right? So let's open up the terminal. So yeah, we have a terminal, and we'll just use a single command, docker compose up. So I'll just pull up the screen. Yeah, we are good to go. So welcome to Bitnami PostgreSQL container. Setup is finished. Starting PostgreSQL. Yeah, all is done. So no installation we have to do. We don't have to download binaries. For the first time, if you don't have the image available, it will take some time to download the image, and then it will be up in few seconds. Okay. So now we have already started up this container. So how to use this container, right? That's a major question all the time for all of us. So here in Docker, we see that a Postgres container is running, and there are two ways you can go into the shell of Postgres. One is through, you can go it from Docker application, clicking on the CLI, or you can go back to the terminal and you just have to type docker ps. This will give you all the details of your container. Let's copy the container ID. Let's docker exec it. Let's paste the container ID and bash. See, we are in the Docker container. Now we have to get inside the Postgre environment. For that, there's a simple command. We'll give the host, we'll give the port, we'll tell them what user we have, and we'll tell the database. It will ask us for the password, and we are in. So yeah, see, so in just a few steps and in a very quick manner, we are inside Postgres. And if you see right now, I don't have any relations. I don't have no relations. Do I have any schema? Yes, I have a schema public. And yeah, we can create tables, we can create databases, we can schema, we can put up all the data here, and we can just select do a select query, and you can just view the data. It's as simple as that. So why to install things? Why to just mess up your system? Just use Docker for basic Postgre installations and basic usage of Postgre, and you can up running. And not just basic, all the organizations prefer using Docker for even their uh, even running Postgres, because it's easy for them. They don't have to pre-install things. They don't have to eat up their memories for Postgre. Everything comes up with this. And if you are concerned about your data, you can just mount up a volume in your compose file, and everything would all the data would be still be there in your local system, and you can view them whenever you up the container. So yeah. So this was a very easy way to start Postgres. That's all for now. And in the next video, we'll be going through what all things can we can do with a Postgres database, and how to use it for relation queries and relational database as a relational database. The basic commands needed to have knowledge of Postgres and all. Okay. So yeah, see you guys. Keep watching. See you in the next one. Bye.